1. We're live. Welcome back to the Fellowship of Gains. Jesse, how much would Frodo deadlift?
Kilograms or pounds?
Pounds, because I'm an idiot.
Is that the metric use that they do in Middle Earth? Because I'm curious.
Stones.
He probably has a system of measurement in Middle Earth, right? He did everything else. He created an Elvish language. Why wouldn't he have a system of measurement as well, right?
I mean, probably kilograms or stones, right? He was British.
Well, I mean, the ring was heavy.
I don't know what they use to measure, by the way.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Like, I don't know. Yeah, and I don't even know how much a stone is. Those of you who are listening in Europe, please tell me how much a stone is in the comments below. I think Frodo was at least 2 times his body weight. Dude just looked like he could, he was jacked. He was wearing a pump cover all the time.
He's got always a sleeper build.
Cover. He's sleeper build. That's the word that we're looking for.
He's just 4x body weight. He only has to move 3 inches.
Yeah, so I mean, tell you, it's like those guys who like sumo deadlift in a full split, and the bar goes like that far off the ground. They're like, yeah, look how much I lifted. Yeah. So yeah, Frodo double his body weight. How much that body weight is up to interpretation, because the hobbits were tiny. So. Anyway, Andrew, it's good to be back. It's been a little while. I've had some adventures since I saw you last.
Yeah, you went to New York.
New York City.
And
yeah, it was fun. Had pizza.
So, this podcast, I just lost my train of thought. It was awesome. This podcast, we're going to be talking about our top 5 favorite fitness items. And we're each coming to the table with our own
wearables.
Objects. I don't even know what he's bringing into the table, although he coaches me and he does my programming, so I'm pretty sure I understand what he might bring to the table.
Maybe.
I only have 4 right now, so I need to come up with a 5th one as we go through this.
I love that you Deadpool every episode. Like, you 100% like pull the curtain back for everybody. Which I think is really hilarious. You're just like, hey, we're going to break that 4th wall. Let me let you know that we planned this podcast, but I also am not 100% sure of all of the contents that I'm going to be talking about today. I'll have an answer in the first part.
I like authenticity. I made a 28-second Instagram video yesterday. It took me 4.5 hours to make that 28-second video. That's how long it takes. And it's crushing, but that's the point, is that this stuff takes a lot of time. Behind the scenes, things are crazy. Before I'm going to read what Master Kevin, our producer, just said. Before we enter the octagon, Jesse just got back from New York with a team over at Vivo Barefoot. Give the people a peek behind the curtain. What was this trip about? What is Vivo Barefoot like? And did you get to meet Galahad again?
I did not. Galahad was not on this trip. So for those of you who don't know what Vivo Barefoot is, Vivo is pretty much the OG barefoot shoe company out there. If you've never worn a pair of barefoot shoes before, what are you doing with your life? You basically are wearing the McDonald's for feet by wearing like Nikes, Reeboks, Adidas, and all that stuff. That's a totally other conversation for another time about why barefoot training is so important and why being barefoot is so important to the human body. Anyway, so Vivo is making a push into the U.S. marketplace.
But they look so funny.
They do, because we've normalized what's bad for you as what's normal, which we normalize what's bad for you as what's normal. That is Department of Redundancy department.
Is he going on a rant again?
No, this is Kevin, our producer, if you can put like rant warnings in, like right when I'm going to start a rant, just so people can have an idea of no rant. But anyway, Vivo Barefoot is a shoe company and an education company as well. And I was there with a couple members of the team, Ben, who's the head of education for Vivo, and Joshua Holland, who is one of their ambassadors. And we were teaching a barefoot movement course that they have there. And barefoot movement it's critical to just basic human function. If your feet don't function well, the rest of the kinetic chain is going to do some really weird stuff. And the foot is this amazing structure that can pretty much do everything that you need it to do. And so Vivo has been a UK-based company for a long time. And now they're trying to make a push into the U.S. marketplace with potential U.S. retail stores down the line and more education available. And they've, recruited me to kind of help with that. And I'm really excited. I love that team over there. I love what they stand for. They're a B Corp. They're transparent about their business dealings. So New York was really cool. I'm originally from there, so I actually went to my old neighborhood that I was brought home in when I was a baby, which was really cool because I haven't been back there in, 25 years or so. So I got to walk around that neighborhood a little bit.
Still a baby.
Still a baby. You can't see from like the bottom down, but there's just like little legs, like Deadpool. So I got to do that. Made sure I had some pie. Walked 6.5 miles because it's New York, and you walk everywhere. Or you ride a train, or you sit in traffic for hours and hours and hours upon end. I found a manhole cover, went down, met the turtles. They were really cool, and then came back up and helped teach the course.
Good deal. Yeah. So, what are you going to do now? Are you going to be able to keep coaching me, or are you just going to leave me for Vivo?
My plan is to put on a pair of Vivos and just walk across the country in Vivos, teaching their barefoot education course. So that's my plan. I'm just going to walk everywhere and do that. No, that
like
actually
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. No, I entered into coaching to help people and educate, and as I've been going through my career, my goal is to continue teaching and educating others. And so I don't ever think I'll stop coaching. I just think that there'll be a time in my career where I will be educating more than I am coaching. And, that could be with Vivo. It could be with another company. Who knows? I just know right now that I'm excited to do some work with them and continue on my path trying to help people move better and feel better in whatever way I can. And Vivo kind of fits that right now.
You do realize that your coaching is educating, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I'm not. I just think there's going to be a time where I'm teaching the next generation of coaches as opposed to being on the front line doing it. So, and I love that. It fills my cup, as they say.
You get to hit more people when you're teaching other people your skills versus just trying. You can't coach 3,000 people, but you can get 50 coaches to teach 3,000 people.
100%. And I had a really smart man tell me one time, a guy named Ben, he was my manager. He got me very early in my career when I was with one of the big Globo gym brands. And he said to me, Jesse, you'll never be defined by the clients that you train or the business that you bring in. You will be defined as a leader by the other leaders that you create. And I took that to heart like 12 years ago. And I've tried to do that as much as I can ever since. So it was a really great trip. There'll be more about Vivo down the line. Really excited to share more about Vivo because it is a great company.
Are they going to give us $10,000 a month on this podcast?
I'm not sure that we can talk them into that. Galahad, if you're listening, I mean, feel free. But otherwise, we will be including a code to give you 20% off your next purchase at Vivo if you'd like. So check the comments for that. We will be importing that code so you can get yourself a pair of Vivos.
Good deal. So enough talking about how cool you are and stuff. Let's get into what are our top 5 pieces of fitness equipment. I think we should go back and forth.
Okay.
I haven't even ranked mine yet. I still don't have a 5th. So we'll go back and forth and toss ours out there and say some mean things to each other about our decisions and move on. Maybe our friendship will fall apart and maybe we'll get a sponsor. I don't know.
I mean, if any of these companies are listening, please, I would love that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna. My list has nothing to do with the potential companies and sponsorships, and just about like when I put this list together, I was like, I can only put 5 things in my gym. What are the 5 things I'm putting in my gym? That was the way I put it together.
I'm trying to find the 5th one that would like round it out, and it just feels. We'll talk about it. Let's get to it.
All right, you go first. What's your first
I'm going to go first. A cable machine. I don't have one. I would love one. I use bands for all of my exercises that a cable could do.
Sure.
But I think that the cable having the consistent resistance through every degree of range of motion would be critical for me. And I know that there's a bunch of brands out there that would love to sponsor us. I know that's Torque Fitness, Beyond Power, Anchor, just to name a few brands that
I love
are
the
out there.
pandering. The pandering's fantastic. I mean, really. By the way, all three of those cable companies are all completely different, everybody. Like, none of them are the same. So Beyond Power, I don't know if you know what Beyond Powers is. Torque is a pretty traditional cable machine. And actually, number one on my list...
They just made a magnetic one.
And number one on my list is actually Anchor, but it's not Anchor by itself. It's Anchor in conjunction with something else. But so I'm with you on that. We actually agree. We're not fighting over this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but mine's Anchor specifically working with a What's That Strap. So if anyone's ever seen the What's That Strap,
they called it a What's That Strap?
It's called What's That Strap. It's fantastic. So What's That Strap is a company that came out with a way to actually like wrap the strap around your body so that you can do 360 degrees of movement loaded, frontal plane, transverse plane, all kinds of stuff. And it's such an amazing tool. I find it for local joint work. I use it for more dynamic work. I do it for plyometrics, ballistics. I can cable load all those things. The two of those together make such a great combination. They've actually made content together, the two of them, because it's a match made in heaven. So for me, What's That Strap and Anchor. Yeah, What's That Strap and Anchor.
They could call it like the body strap or like the strap on or something.
It's probably not called the strap on. That's a totally different episode at a totally different time. But ultimately speaking, so those are they came together as a package though. For me, that was a big deal. It's like Anchor and What's That Strap together. That's my first on my list. I will go second now. So we'll kind of do this little snake back.
Was that one of yours, the cable, or no?
Yeah, Anchor, specifically an Anchor and a What's That Strap together. So okay. They would go together. My second is a Landmine. So if anyone's ever done Landmine training before, I'm a huge, huge fan of Landmine training. It pretty much is going to hit everything you could possibly hit. I mean, power, strength, endurance. You can do some mobility work with it, multiple planes of motion. You're going to see this very frequent with me as I go through my list, is that everything allows you to train in all three planes of motion, which those of you listening at home, there are three planes of human motion: sagittal, frontal, and transverse. That's just a really scientific way of saying forward and back, side and side, and things that have rotation to them. And the more that I can choose a piece of equipment that allows you to move through all three planes, the more dynamic I can be with my movements, which tend to reflect the things that I do every day. I love Landmine training. Don't necessarily love some of the certifications and stuff out there because I think it got a little weird, but I really just love a Landmine to add to what I do.
I mean, I agree. You've been having me do a bunch of Landmine stuff. I was doing it prior, but I'm doing a lot more now, and it's great. I see them doing like a bunch of explosive stuff on social media, just like all this violent, tactical looking stuff. And I'm like, yeah. Tactical is technically like police officers and stuff, so it's not tactical, it's just whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really interested in doing that. I've done some of it and it's fun, but yeah. A sled. Any kind of sled. I think I'm a big fan of grunt work, and that's going to be something else later in here as well. But I think that just being able to push and pull something, it could be a fancy magnetic sled like Torque Tank, or just some cheap thing that you just load plates on and drag it down the street and piss off your neighbors. Oh, I want to say my list is from the mindset of a home gym. I've been working out at home for the last 5 years. So everything I have here is home gym base. And the Torque Tank allows me to not destroy my street and not piss off my neighbors.
What's funny is I also have a sled on my list, except I have a specific sled on my list. So I've tried a bunch of sleds. I do love sleds. But if I was to pick one, Shogun makes something called the Stag sled. Shout out to Shogun out there. They're pretty awesome. The Stag sled is it's cool. So instead of like one linear piece to load the sled, there's two horns that come out the sides. There's a railing that goes around the bottom, so you can do a bunch of different directions of travel with it if you want to. The handles have 3 different locations. So you can do a low push, a mid push, and a high push. And you can either grab like center or neutral, or you pronate. And I really love it. It's also got really thick bottoms on it. And so you can do outdoor with it and you can do indoor with it, which is really cool. So the Shogun Stag sled has quickly become my favorite sled piece of equipment. But I'm with you. That's
something that you load though?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can load it on up and go to work.
There's something nice about having load. The torque tank doesn't have any visible load, and you don't even know how much you're pushing. The harder you push, the harder it pushes back. So you could have anywhere upwards of 800 to 1,000 pounds, depending on how hard you're pushing it. That's what they say anyway.
Jeez.
And I don't really know that I'm doing that, but it absolutely destroys my legs. So when you put in the workout, you're like, hey, do 100% body weight. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to put it on its max resistance and push.
Yeah. That's a good. So what's interesting is, so I have a wheeled sled as well from Zybex or it's XEBEX, and it's one of theirs. But it's got the magnetic bearing on the front, and then it also has a center so you can load it up with plates and stuff. So you can actually load it and do the magnetic resistance on the front wheel at the same time, which I think is really awesome.
So I can load the torque tank, but because it's on wheels, it doesn't really make a difference unless I'm going up a hill.
Correct. Yep. So that's the weird thing about the wheeled sleds. I like to do wheeled sleds for distance more so than the sled based workouts, like the Prowler sled based workouts. So I used to, especially during the pandemic, I took my sled out and I would do 20, 30, 40-minute pushes around the neighborhood. And people were like, oh, you only went 2 miles. I was like, yeah, you check my aerobic output during those 2 miles and let me know that I didn't do the same amount that somebody did that did a further distance than I did. Because your body doesn't really know distance. It just knows intensity relative to what it's trying to do.
Have you ever considered doing that Liver King thing? His 1 mile sled, weight vest, ankle weights, carried 71 pounds in each hand, whatever.
Can I just make this announcement on the podcast?
Okay, yeah.
I will never consider anything Liver King has ever done ever in the history of my life.
We don't like to follow charlatans.
He has a name for it too. It's like the I want to say the Bulgarian walk, but it's not. It's some barbarian walk. There you go. I shout out to Bulgarian split squats, my favorite lower body exercise. Whole nother episode on those eventually. But yeah, anything. I watched the Liver King, not to rant, or I watched the Liver King documentary on Netflix. It was just made me want to punch him in the face even harder.
I didn't even know there was one on Netflix. You shouldn't
have
even
it was
said
like
anything.
Untold. It's only like an hour long because and it went over his life and all this stuff. So, hey, Liver King out there, if you're listening to the podcast, thank you for listening. You're also a man with a very punchable face.
Ramp mode.
All right. So we agreed on sled. So we're 2 for 3 so far. What do you got next?
Okay. From the home gym perspective, the Freak Athlete Bench, it's not cheap, but I love all of the things I can do with it. It's a GHD, it's a Roman chair. I can do leg extensions, ham curls with it. It's a Nordic bench in varying degrees and angles. I can do hip thrusts. Dude, the number of things I can do with that thing. It even comes with a row attachment for the ham curl machine, so you can actually do seated rows as well. Very nice. It's very versatile piece of equipment. I got it for free. I don't know. It's awesome, and I use it every single week for probably 2 or 3 of the workouts that you program, and it's a beast.
Well, one of the big things for me when I was writing programming, and if I ever write any programming for anybody who listens to the show or any of my clients, you tell me what equipment you have, we're going to use it. I'm not going to be like, hey, by the way, you have to use the things that I put into this program. Let's use the stuff that you have. You have a home gym. I mean, load is load is load. Load starts internally, works externally. Load is load is load at the end of the day. So let's just use it. So I'm a big fan of using what you have. And yes, that is really cool. I almost bought a bunch of those, but instead I bought the Nordstick version of them for my group training.
Yeah, it doesn't have as much stuff, but it still allows you to...
Does the things I need it to
do.
There's
the Nordic bench. I think it's flat, right?
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't do anything else. That, to me, is a no-go. I'm not an absolute monster the first time I do Nordics. I need some variation.
No. So yeah, I love those multiple, what I love about the fitness industry as a whole and I know an inventor. He's a buddy of mine, a guy named Pete Holman. He invented the TRX Rip Trainer, the Nautilus Glute Drive, the Glute Slide, the sled barrow bench from Escape Fitness. Like, he's done a bunch of stuff. Pete's awesome. And knowing what they have to go through from an R&D and like just being able to create pieces of fitness equipment, or it's really cool, especially like you see like the 9-in-1 or like the Nordic, which I think is a 6-in-1. And I'm doing way more than 6 exercises on that bench in a group setting, and it's just really cool to see the ingenious nature of people as technology is moving forward.
Yeah, man, it's cool.
Which is really cool. But I'm going to segue that into something that dates back to Egyptian times, which is
this another piece of equipment?
It's another piece of equipment.
Okay.
And something I'm known for.
Is it a club?
It is not.
Okay.
It is a battle rope.
Okay.
So I got Andrew into battle roping. For those of you who think that those things are just, hey, grab a rope, bend over at the waist, shake it as hard as you can until you're tired, and then repeat and do that again, you are sadly mistaken, and you are missing out on what I think is one of the most versatile pieces of fitness equipment out there. So a couple things with the battle rope. One, anybody can do it. Whether you're using 2 ropes or 1 rope, anybody can do it. 2, it's a concentric only piece of equipment, so there's no eccentric muscle contraction, so it doesn't make you sore, so you can literally do it every day. You can use it to train multiple energy systems, so you can use it for aerobic or anaerobic and strength. You can use it for isometrics, and it's almost infinitely scalable. So where most people miss out with a rope, which is why I put it in my list, is because it's such a versatile piece of equipment. If you start 3 steps into your anchor point and start doing your alternating waves, and then you take 1 more step in, it completely changes the exercise. Completely. Because now you have more rope in your wave, and I won't bore you with the physics that's associated with it, but there's more rope in the wave now, which makes the wave harder, and then you have to maintain it for longer. And I love it so much.
The physics are that as you get closer to the attachment point, the rope then becomes a mind game, and it starts to twist over itself, and then it
only if your
no
technique is
longer
terrible.
looks like a wave.
Only if your technique is terrible.
Turns into wet noodles flying through the air in
Only
various
if your-
directions.
Only if your technique is bad.
Which it is for me.
So the physics of it is, because okay, so producer Kevin, Andrew opened this bag of worms. So if you want to edit this part out, feel free.
Is this a rant?
The physics of the rope. So everything we do in the gym follows mechanical physics. So load associated with gravity, because gravity is a constant, and then we're just amplifying the effects of gravity with a load, right?
9.81 meters per second squared.
Thank you. So now we are just trying to amplify the effects of gravity via mechanical physics. Everything in the gym follows that, except for a battle rope. And you're going to be like, well, you're lifting it up and down. Right. But how we scale it is based on something called wave physics. All right. So wave physics is basically when you're looking at the trough of a wave, you're looking at where the wave starts, where the wave is supposed to end, and the trough that's associated with it. Yeah, everybody's going to be like, why do I care about this, Jesse? Well, because this is what makes the battle rope so cool, is because when you create a wave, the more rope that's in that wave, the harder it is to get it to your end point. And so it makes it harder and harder and harder the closer you get, because there's more wave. If it starts turning into a wet noodle like Andrew, he may look big and jacked, but maybe his ability to create force like he's supposed to
I am soft
might
and
be a
meek.
little limited. But anyway, so that's why I love the battle rope, because it is different than and you can, again, train in multiple planes of motion. You can do multiple things with it. It's never going to mess you up. I mean, I'll be battle roping into my 90s. Telling you that now. Calling it. Battle roping in my 90s.
I mean, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Do you want me? Do you have another one, or
I came up with
run
one. I think my issue here is that I want some sort of like hanging mechanism, and I can't choose one because of how my setup is. So a pull-up bar, a set of rings, or a TRX where you can kind of like suspend yourself in some capacity. I can't choose one because like my home setup, I don't have a place that I can do like efficient pull-ups, or at least I didn't for a long time. without just destroying my house. So when we got we got stall bars from this company in
Love
Europe.
stall bars. Yeah,
They are incredibly nice, but it came with a pull-up bar, and I can finally do full-length dead hang pull-ups in my living room.
Nice.
But it also looks really nice, and it has like a standing desk and stuff. But I have rings under my deck as well, and that's what I did pull-ups with for years. But my knees are bent, like they touch the ground and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, but I'm at least able to get a hang. So rings are cheap. You can go on Amazon right now and get a set of rings for $30 and install them, and you can start doing pull-ups. And you can do ring rows. You can do ring push-ups. A TRX is going to be much more friendly than that. It does cost a bit more, though. I'll let you go on that one.
And the mechanism just a little bit different. So I did
not.
The
pull is it like pulls you immediately toward each other with a TRX. The rings, you can keep them like in a straight line.
So the stability demand is different, and that's where it was kind of created from that demand. So I do teach the TRX education courses, and I love TRX. It wasn't on my top 5 list though, and I'm pretty sure producer Kevin's like, no way, I had TRX on that list. Was not on that list. As much as I love it, we're just talking about 5 that I absolutely like. Okay, cool. I can only create a workout program for these 5. But anyway, I love the TRX. It is different because of the single anchor point versus the dual anchor point, like Andrew just said. The stability demand, because your body is basically finishing a triangle when you think about the way it works. And so when you go single arm, there is much more demand that's now occurring. You can recruit the core musculature a little bit differently. You can be dynamic with it. There's a lot of different stuff that you can do with the TRX. It's a little different. Again, it's still suspension and pulling, and it's got a lot of benefits. But we've seen like there's research out there about the TRX suspension push up and comparing it to a regular push, or the TRX inverted row and lat activation compared to like barbell rows and cable rows, and the TRX inverted row actually came out on top, believe it or not. And so, like, there's different research that it's just a little bit different, but I love it. I agree with you. It's a great, versatile piece of equipment.
Good deal.
My number 5 will always be my favorite piece of gym equipment I've ever used. And I had one for a little while, and I sadly had to sell it just because, like, space-wise, it didn't work. I had, for a very short period of time, a hammer strength jammer machine. Now, I don't know if you've ever used a hammer strength jammer machine before, but it is, to me, the pinnacle of just...
Say that 5 times fast.
Hammer strength jammer machine, hammer strength jammer machine, hammer strength jammer machine. The hammer strength jammer machine, man, I have such a love affair with this machine. So yeah. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, it's the fixed arms, yeah?
Yes, but you get to be really explosive. You can be rotationally explosive. Yeah. You can use it as just like an incline press if you want to. But I got introduced to that when I played high school football. And it was one of the few things that I loved. There was one of the few things that they were like, okay, cool, we're going to work jammer today. I loved it. And so when I was a strength and conditioning coach, we didn't have the budget to buy a hammer strength jammer machine. So instead, we bought lever arms to just attach to the squat racks to be able to do it with. But man, the jammer machine's so much fun. Talk about learning how to be explosive. It's safe. I mean, you either can lift it or you can't. You can step into it. You can just be explosive into it. A video popped on my feed the other day, and it was like from, like 10 years ago. And it was me at my buddy TA's gym just like going to town on one. There is nothing like that machine. Like, Andrew, if you can find a gym in town that has a hammer strength jammer machine and just go in and do some sets, you're going to walk away from it. You're going to be like, okay, I understand why Jesse loves this thing so much. Because it's just like, it's the coolest feeling to like really express power.
I mean, I used
through
it
your
in
whole
high
body
school,
and do
but
it.
I don't think it was freestand. Like, you couldn't walk through. There was a seat in it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so it's like
okay.
It's just like you have to sit down and you do chest press, but it's the same machine. Just get rid of the thing in the middle and you can do what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's a little bit lower.
And it's a little bit, so it's wide. So the jammer machine is also wider with a wider base because you're going full velocity really, really hard on that thing.
I think Mark Bell had one in his gym. He had so many pieces of equipment I've never seen before.
Yeah. Probably pendulum squats. I mean,
dude, whatever. Just all the things.
shout out to some of the ones that didn't make my list, like reverse hyper and belt squats. I love both of those pieces of equipment. TRX suspension trainer, kettlebells, adjustable dumbbells. Oh, you got another one? What you got?
I have my last one. It is the most boring thing. It's sets of dumbbells or kettlebells, just free weights. Like, if there's one, this is my number one thing on the list. If there's one thing that you could get, it's just some load. Just you can take a dumbbell, you can do squats, you can do carries, you can do overhead work.
Yeah, for sure.
You can do floor presses, even if you don't have a bench. You can do bent over rows. You can hit the whole body with the thing. And agreed. I think, what are the power block things? They're expensive, but they're cheaper than.
I was just about to shout out Power Block. Shout out to Power Block. I love their dumbbells. I got a set given to me. Absolutely love them. I just absolutely loved the Power Block dumbbells. I mean, I didn't think I was going to love them, and then I started using them, and I was like, okay, these are cool. These feel cool. Big shout out to Power Block dumbbells. I have the 10 to 100 set, which is awesome.
How much is that? $250? $400? Holy crap. I mean, I guess it's not. Yeah, I get that. I'm just wondering, how does it compare price-wise to like having 10s to 100s of like Amazon dumbbells or Rogue dumbbells? Like, the Rogue dumbbells are going to be at least twice the price.
Yes.
But could you get away with getting like $500 worth of those dumbbells from Amazon?
So I'm just looking. So just the Power Block Elites are $419, and that's just up to 50 pounds. The ones up to the ones up to 90 pounds are $797.
All right. Well,
it's also space saving as well, which is one of the benefits of it as well, because you don't have to have like a big rack to set.
I have a rack for all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit them all.
Yeah, you do.
Well, Master
look
Kevin's
at that look at that A cup. Look at that A cup.
You got to get me working more chest. I haven't been working my chest as much.
Listen, I don't know what you're talking about. There's chest stuff in there.
I just started the new thing this week.
The continuous tension chest fly thing that I had you doing was pretty gnarly.
It was pretty damn gnarly.
Yeah, exactly. What is your most overrated piece of equipment?
I haven't had time to think about this, sir. Did you?
Oh, I have an answer. Real easy.
Go.
BOSU. Done. BOSU. Just what a gigantic waste of time. BOSU.
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going through a list of all kinds of things, and I don't mind upsetting the BOSU people.
No, I definitely do not. They've got some cool people over there, but the BOSU itself, like, listen, it is a half stability ball that you can do.
You can do 405 quarter squats on it.
Pretty much. It is. So when we think about how we create strength, we need gravity and ground reaction force for that, because that's what we need. Because if we're in an unstable environment, guess what happens if you're in an unstable environment? Your body's going to fight to be stable instead of fighting to be strong. So it is going to switch gears. So the idea that I'm going to stand on a BOSU ball and get more stable all of a sudden while doing bicep curls is one of the silliest things in the entire world. It just has very limited, like, can you do some things with the BOSU ball? Yeah, for sure. Like, there's nothing that you, like, I'm not going to say there aren't some effective exercises with it, but it's completely overrated. And people use it for a variety of things. They're just not beneficial whatsoever at all.
Yeah, I can't really think of something else. I'm thinking of those step blocks and step classes. I'm like, those are great. They allow people to step up, step down, build some bone density. Shake weight. Oh, the tug toner. Have you seen the tug toner?
Yes, the tug toner is amazing.
The shake weight is it.
Yeah, the tug toner.
You got me thinking of all kinds of. I used to do product reviews for things like, oh man, there's a bunch of things out there that are just sold by China. They're like the ab machine, the ab doer 360.
Anything that Temu makes, pretty much. If you could buy it on Temu, it's probably not good. I would say that there are some really amazing things out there, but I'll use one that you mentioned. Like, Beyond Power really excites me about what they're doing from a technology standpoint. I really do love what they're doing. It's a really cool idea. So Beyond Power is this cable machine. You can also turn it into a flywheel, basically, so you can overload the eccentric portion of it. It's got up to, I think it's up to 100 pounds of resistance, if I'm not mistaken. It's programmable. Like, it's got some really cool stuff that's associated with it. But its price point is really expensive. I think it's at least $1,000 for like the one cable, I think. I have to just go double check. It has a 1-year warranty associated with it. And I'm like, like, if you really believe in your stuff, let's throw a couple of extra years on that warranty. Otherwise, like, you know, a 1-year warranty for something that costs $1,000, that could be troublesome. So that's over $1,000.
Well, what's something that's cheap and effective that anyone could get today and get some awesome results from?
You mentioned it already, an elevation. Elevation does so much. Just get a box. Get some sort of elevation, okay? Boxes are not expensive. You can, I mean, and by boxes, I mean something you can stand on. But just...
They go to the UPS store.
Exactly. But boxes provide so much opportunity for your body to have to change positions, which means I'm going to have to go through basically a different level of the strength curve to be able to do that because I'm starting in different positions. Just get a box. You can do upper body exercises from it, lower body exercises from it, aerobic training from it, power work on it. Elevation is one of the most important things I tell people to get if they're going to be creating a home gym. That's my favorite.
Bands are super versatile and effective as well. You can get the long bands, the short bands. You can do a ton with them. Pretty much every exercise you can add a band to.
Yeah, and they're really, I mean, bands are cheap. I mean, they're really not expensive.
And I have thick loop ones or even the fabric ones, they're not going to break. Those thin, like TheraBand ones, I've broken so many of those.
Oh, I bet. Oh my gosh, I bet. Yeah. The other thing I'd say that is like a really cheap, kind of in the same vein as an elevation, is some sort of slant. Slants work really great. I mean, especially for like ankle locomotion work.
Use a 2x4.
Ish. I kind of like the downhill so the foot can sit flat on it. But I do think that it doesn't have to be expensive to be effective. The only limitation, if I was to tell somebody with just doing bodyweight exercise, because the bodyweight exercise can be awesome, is the fact that you can't chain your posterior chain as well. So pulling exercises, hinging exercises just don't work as well from a bodyweight perspective. So you need something like bands or a suspension trainer. And most people aren't just jumping right into pull-ups, right? Like they're not jumping on and like, hey, cool, let's get these pull-ups in. It's just not happening. So that's why, you know, if I were to tell you, hey, you got $30, let's say $30 to set up a home gym, get a set of bands, get an elevation of some sort, and there's a lot you can do with those two things.
You can do a lot with a 35-pound kettlebell, both men and women.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I think for the most part, not to end our friendship over a 35-pound kettlebell, but I think there's more of a learning curve that's associated with that.
Oh, you just hold it, carry it,
you can
with it, deadlift with it,
carry your child,
put it on your pelvis,
groceries, or a bucket full of rocks as well.
Yes, but how many people are doing that?
You can.
It's efficient. I tell people all the time, like they're like, I don't have weights. I'm like, okay, go get one of those reusable bags from the grocery store, the fabric bags. Just fill it with rocks or dirt and carry that. They don't.
No, they don't. Yeah, I think that kind of goes to like which. Somebody asked if it was producer Kevin or somebody else, what equipment do you think you would like to see clients use more of?
His name is Master Kevin, sir.
A load. Something. Like just pick up a weight and move it continually all the time. So if that's adjustable dumbbells or going to the gym or whatever it is that you're doing. But like I said, like I do think I could probably find a 16-inch box and some bands for $30. I mean, maybe not with inflation. Let's say $40. And you've got an entire litany of exercises you can do with those two things. And it's going to be effective.
I like the influencers where their whole page is just them going out and lifting just massive rocks. They just go find, I forget what his name is, but he just goes and finds these like notorious rocks. And they're like 500 pounds.
Arnold shouted that dude out. Shout out to Arnold, OG. Arnold shouted that dude out for like picking up a rock, and the guy was like, "Arnold just loved my rock pickup video." Yeah, and I reached out to him too. I was like, "Dude, just it's great stuff. Keep it up. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, I just like lifting things in the wilderness, and I'm getting all this attention.
And
So
big tree limbs and whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
There you go.
So whatever you can find, there is a budget to be able to do things. It doesn't have to be the thing that most people miss out on. And we can kind of start wrapping up here on this. The thing that most people miss out on, for me, is just discipline. It's not about the equipment. It's just about the discipline of doing it. You know, there are plenty of solutions out there. It's just the discipline of, on the days that you don't want to do something, going and doing it. That's the toughest.
A little bit even.
Yes. Oh yes. A little bit goes a long way.
Well, the producer says we need to stop now.
Well, I mean, he didn't say it explicitly, but the clock over our head kind of clued us in. We want to thank you for joining us. If you're new here, welcome to the fellowship. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you don't know what the subscribe button is in 2025, why are you here? But please drop a review and share this episode with people that are a part of your lifting crew or your fellowship.
And if you want to train smarter, recover better, feel better, get stronger, get jacked, feel good, follow us on Instagram. I am the.shirtlessdude or @wealth, W Health. And then Jesse.
I am Unconventional Strength, and I am also Battle Rope Exercises.
And
so
does this channel have an Instagram?
It does. Fellowship of the Gains. The at's in front, not behind it. Not Fellowship of the Gains but at Fellowship of the Gains.
They know how it works.
Yeah. What's going to be really cool on there is, well, eventually, like, there'll be clips on there. We may do some down the road with more episodes. We're going to be talking about more things in regards to Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. We got some cool interviews coming up with some athletes and some people who love Lord of the Rings, and they live a healthy lifestyle, and they're kind of nerdy. Really going to enjoy that. We'll talk about gaming. We'll talk about fitness, all those things. So.
Good deal. Until next time, thank you for all joining us. I love you. Bye.
I like you. Thank you. Stay in the fellowship.